Hello, Golden State Warriors fan! We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates. First of all, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It's crucial for you to stay informed with the news daily. Without further ado, let's get to the news. It's the kind of rumor that spreads like wildfire on NBA Twitter, lights up Reddit threads, and makes every sports podcast instantly drop what they're doing. Picture this, a casual conversation, maybe backstage at an all-star event, or even a quiet call between front office executives and a superstar. The name at the center of this latest buzz, none other than the Greek freak himself, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the team allegedly trying to lure him into a potential dynasty reboot. The Golden State Warriors, yeah, you heard that right. Steph Curry's Warriors, Draymond Green's Warriors, the team that defined an era of basketball, now seemingly testing the waters to see if the league's most dominant force is willing to bring his talents to the Bay. But when approached, however, informally about the possibility, Giannis dropped a bomb that set the tone. "I'm not interested right now." 6 words, 6 syllables, and an ocean of interpretation. It wasn't a flat-out rejection. It wasn't a door slammed shut. It was a pause, a maybe. And in NBA talk, a not now often means maybe later, especially when the stakes are titles and legacies. So let's break down what this could really mean. First off, let's talk about why this rumor even makes sense to begin with. The Warriors are staring down the tail end of a golden era. Steph is still elite, but he's aging. Klay has declined. Draymond remains the emotional engine but struggles with consistency and availability. The front office knows it, the fans know it, and ownership, they feel it in the pocketbooks when the team doesn't make a deep playoff run. Golden State has long been about sustainability, building for the now and the next. And that's why a name like Giannis makes all the sense in the world. You pair the reigning best two-way player in the game with a culture of winning, and a front office hungry for one last dance or maybe an entire new trilogy. So, somewhere along the line, conversations happened. Maybe it was a recruiter type text from Draymond. Maybe it was a whisper from a Warriors exec to Giannis agent. Either way, the feelers were out, and the response, that casual, almost nonchalant, "I'm not interested right now." It's the kind of line that doesn't make headlines in big font, but it sure makes insiders raise an eyebrow. And that's where the curiosity kicks in, because let's be honest, when a superstar like Giannis says, "I'm not interested right now," that doesn't sound like someone pledging lifelong loyalty to Milwaukee. It sounds like someone leaving the window open just enough to catch a breeze. Giannis has always preached loyalty, work ethic, staying the course. But we've seen this movie before many times. Think back to KD in OKC. He said all the right things until the moment he didn't. LeBron in Cleveland, same song. Even Kawhi, as mysterious as ever, eventually made his move. Stars evolve, circumstances change, and Giannis, for all his dominance and team-first approach, is also a legacy guy. He wants to win multiple rings, not just one title to cap off a career, but to carve a Mount Rushmore-worthy path. And Milwaukee, while still competitive, is not the sure thing it once was. The Bucks have aged, they've shuffled coaches, and the East is no longer a cakewalk. So while Giannis saying "not now" may sound like loyalty, it could just as easily be strategic patience, a message, a soft nudge to both Milwaukee and the rest of the league. Keep watching. I'm not done. What really makes this rumor fascinating isn't just the idea of Giannis joining the Warriors, it's the timing. The NBA is at a weird crossroads. The old guard is fading. The new generation is still finding its voice. There's a vacuum forming, and someone's going to fill it. Giannis is perfectly built for that. And Golden State, they've always been ahead of the curve. They zig when everyone else zags. Remember how people laughed when they drafted Steph, or when they doubled down on small ball during the height of big man dominance. Now imagine them seeing a transition period on the horizon and deciding to go all in for a second dynasty run with a physical freak of nature who fits their style and adds what they've never truly had, a dominant inside force. No disrespect to Andrew Bogut or Kevin Looney, but Giannis, that's a different stratosphere. That's not just firepower, it's nuclear. And so the buzz begins to spread. Fans speculate, podcasts dissect, Twitter erupts, but through it all, that one quote hovers like a ghost. "I'm not interested right now." Not a hard no, not even close. Now, you know how this league works. One small quote becomes the seed of an entire offseason's worth of speculation. And you better believe the Warriors heard that answer and started calculating every possible angle. Could they make the cap work? Could they swing a sign and trade down the line? Could they flip their young assets like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, or even picks for the right price when the moment comes? You bet they're exploring that. This isn't a team content with missing the playoffs. And it's certainly not a team that's afraid to go big. Remember when they landed Kevin Durant in 2016? That changed the entire NBA for years, and this would be that again, but maybe even more impactful. GNS is younger, stronger, and arguably more team-oriented. He's not joining to be the guy, he already is that guy. And if the Warriors can sell him on the idea of legacy, culture, and building something new together, well, suddenly not now might become let's talk. Especially if Milwaukee stalls again in the playoffs, but let's not forget Milwaukee's position in all this. The Bucks are no strangers to superstar flirtations. They've seen the noise before, but now they're feeling the pressure. They went all in with the Damian Lillard trade, hoping it would be the perfect pairing, but with coaching changes, injuries, and inconsistent performances, the chemistry hasn't quite clicked the way fans hoped. And GNS, he's watching, he's vocal, he's not the type to sit back while you slip away. So if things go sideways next season, and that's a big if, the whispers will become louder. Suddenly that not now becomes front page material. Suddenly insiders start using words like restless, reevaluating, open to exploring. It's how it always starts, and for a team like Golden State, who's waiting in the wings with one of the league's most respected cultures and brightest basketball minds, that could be the perfect storm. Because they don't need to sell GNS on money or status. They just need to sell him on the future, on what could be, and sometimes that's all it takes for the scales to tip. And let's get into the narrative side for a second, because the NBA is nothing if not a league built on stories. Imagine the media storm around GNS joining the Warriors, the redemption arc of Steph trying to end his career with one last super team, the drama of GNS leaving the only franchise he's ever known, the debates on First Take, the interviews, the parades of speculation. It's entertainment gold, and GNS, he's smart enough to know that he's not just an athlete, he's a brand. And moving to a major market like the Bay Area with Silicon Valley ties, tech investments, and global exposure might just be the kind of opportunity that stretches beyond basketball. Add in Steve Kerr's player-first system, the unselfishness of Steph, and the potential to be part of an all-time great legacy. That's a compelling pitch. One that's hard to ignore, especially if the Bucks can't get it together next season. Suddenly that loyalty starts to look more like a burden than a badge, and the not now quote, it becomes prophetic, a hint of what was always coming. Something inevitable. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. The other thing to keep in mind is GNS mentality. This isn't someone who's chasing fame or social media clout. He's obsessed with greatness. He studies the legends. He talks about Kobe. He works like Tim Duncan. He thinks in terms of winning, legacy, respect. And that's what makes this rumor so juicy. Because if GNS feels like his prime years are being wasted or even just underutilized, he won't sit still. He might not make a public spectacle of it, but internally, he'll be planning. Quietly, strategically, and that's exactly what the Warriors are banking on. They're hoping that, eventually, the stars align. That Milwaukee has one too many second-round exits, that the Bucks can't retool fast enough, that the internal conversations around what's next start to weigh heavier. And when that moment comes, the Warriors won't even have to say much, just a phone call, a text, a whisper, "You ready now?" And if that not now has turned into "I've been thinking," that's the moment everything shifts. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.